save the bees, but with worms? How does that work? Stick around and I'm going to show you. Hey everybody, it's Robbie with Missouri Worm Supply. Save the bees. If you've been watching any kind of news or you grow your own garden, you do anything like that, you understand that the honeybee population in the United States, or actually all over the world, is dropping. Varroa mites is probably one of the biggest killers, and we're working on stuff for that. The second thing is the pesticides. So all these crops you see going up and down the road, the corn and Roundup and whatever kind of chemicals, I'll probably get in trouble for using their name, whatever kind of chemicals they're spraying to keep their gardens pest-free is killing the honeybee also, the pollinators that they need. So we need to try to do what we can to save the bees. And not just honeybees. Honeybees, bumblebees, wasps, any kind of bees that are pollinators are really, really good for your garden. And we need to save those guys. But how do you do that with worms? That's a pretty simple question, and there's a direct correlation. One of the things that I highly discourage people doing is using synthetic fertilizers, synthetic pesticides in their garden. There are alternatives. Like neem oil you can use in your garden, which is an organic substance, or you can eat it basically. It's not going to hurt you. It's not a bad thing, but it's going to get rid of the bugs that you want. You can use these and get rid of, sorry, I'm looking out the door. I can see my gardens over here. You can help get rid of those bugs. One thing to remember though is if you do have bugs in your garden, it's a good garden. There's something there that they like, and it's a good thing. If you've got a garden there's no bugs at all, I wouldn't eat that food. Excuse me. But we're going to get to the correlation of worms. I want you to picture yourself real quick as a bee. You're flying around somebody's yard, whether you're looking at the flowers on a tomato or flowers on a potato or any kind of a blooming flower, cabbage, cauliflower, whatever. Or just your normal flowers that people have in their yard, dandelions, or maybe they got marigolds or chrysanthemums, whatever kind of plant you got. If you're a bee and you're wanting pollen and nectar and the good stuff, and you look over and there's a really pretty flower over there, it's bright, it's sticking up tall, it's vibrant, you can smell the aromatics in there, you're going to go to that flower. If you look over next to it and there's this old wilty, dead, dying, no flower, no pollen, no nectar type of flower, you're probably not going to go over there as much as you'd be wanting to go to the other flower. So if you get yourself worms, and you don't have to be a worm farmer, you can get just castings. You can find somebody to purchase castings from. We sell ours online. We sell them in person. I mean, a couple weeks ago at the beginning of spring, we sold 6 tons in 2 weeks because people know what the benefits of castings are. There's natural pesticides, natural fungicides, natural herbicides. All that's in there. You're not putting any chemical crap into your food and then turn around and eating it. But if you can add the worm castings to your garden, and you not only are you making a better crop for yourselves, better tasting food, better blooms, better yields, you're helping the soil. If you're doing this, you're making the better flowers. Therefore, the more bees and pollinators, butterflies, moths, what have you, are going to be coming to your garden, and then they're going to pollinate, and you're going to get a better yield of flowers or better yield of fruit or foods out of that. Now, a lot of people can't or won't keep honeybees. There are various reasons. A lot of people are allergic to them, or maybe the EpiPen because it's stupidly outrageously priced. They don't want to have that. Maybe you live in the city, and the city says, no, you can't keep bees. Just a note to you guys, when we lived in Denver, we had 6 colonies at our house. They showed up and said, oh, you can't own these bees. And I explained to them that I didn't own the bees. I own the boxes. The bees just moved in. They argued with me for a minute, so I pointed over at my neighbor's house, who I knew called me in, and I told them, I said, what about them spider webs? You going to go up there and tell them to get them spiders? They can't keep spiders at their house. What about the ticks and the fleas and the critters in their yard? What's the difference in that? Needless to say, after a little while, we kept our honeybees. But I like the honeybees. We have 6 hives out here. Not only, there's a bird in my building. Sorry, there's a bird just flew in. Not only do we get You can get the propolis from the bees and make tinctures. You get the wax. You can make some of the best candles that don't leave smut on your ceiling. And you get that glorious, glorious honey. And there's nothing better than getting your own honey from your own bees. You can turn it, make a couple dollars. The best part is putting on some biscuits and sopping that up. Anyway, I digress. I recommend you get worms. If you get worms and you're growing your own little worm bin, and it could be in your basement, in your closet, or something like that. You take those worm castings, you put them in your garden, you put them in your yard, put them on your flowers. You're making the nectar and the pollen that's in that plant better or more aromatic. It's more viable. It's brighter. It smells good. The bees are going to come there. They're going to get what they need, and it helps their colony out. What you want to do is try to help those bees out, because those bees are what helps your gardens grow. You need the pollinators for your gardens to grow. Hey guys, if you like what you're seeing, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. A couple other reasons. Let's see. Maybe you're scared of bees. What I recommend is, if you want to get over that, go get with the bee club, go get with the beekeeper, and tell them, hey, I want to learn. Now, they're going to put you in a full suit. Gloves, face, veil, whole bibs. You're not going to get stung, but you're going to get to see these guys. And if you're dealing with normal honeybees, not the Africanized like over in the southern states or Arizona, these bees are pretty much calm. Depending on the breed, there's several breeds out there, but they do have defender bees. Most beekeepers you'll see online, some of them, I really hate these people. They're stupid. The girls that try to dress, their kibbles and bits are hanging out, and they're in shorty shorts, and, oh, look at my bees, and nobody's looking at the bees. We all know what you're looking at. Just quit. But you're going to see a lot of people, they get so used to it that they smoke the bees, they learn the bees, they don't even have a suit on. I do recommend at least wearing a veil. Keep the bees out of your ears and nose. There's nothing worse than a bee stinging you inside the nose, except for this finger here. I'm not going to turn it around, but I ripped the fingernail off, and if anybody's ever done that, you know how tender that is. I got stung by a bee underneath there because I pinched it. Anyway, let's get talking about that. You want to save the bees? Get worms. You can do your own worm farm. You can order from us online, or just order from anybody, but I recommend us. We have pure red wigglers, pure stock in here. We have European night crawlers. But you want to get those worm castings out there. Let's help the garden. Even if you don't have a garden and you're in the city per se, and you got flowers on your back porch, you can take those worm castings, which is now keeping paper and cardboard and coffee grounds and tea bags and food waste out of our landfills. You're making a great, great product with this. Put it in your flowers. Just your flowers on your porch or on your balcony. Whatever you do with that stuff, you've got it, and you're going to help those blooms out, help those flowers, and you're going to help save the bees. The other thing is, like I said, some people, maybe they just don't like bees, they're scared of bees, they're allergic to bees, but you, by getting worms or adding worm castings to your garden, helps the bee population. Our bee population here drops every year. With no bees, there'd be no food. Just think about that. All right, guys, till next time. Happy growing.